What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Top Prospect Podcast. We got the boys back for another episode. How is everyone doing today on this nice Saturday evening?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Phenomenal.
That's great to hear, boys. We got a great episode. All-Star break is coming up. First, John, I'm curious, what are you eating? What are you snacking on?
Got some fruit snacks. Also got this for when the show gets long, and some lollipops for when I want to scream at one of you guys and I need to hold it back.
All right, seems like
That's a
an
good
excellent
spread.
idea.
That
All right, let's get into it. First off, last night it was announced that Mike Conley was selected as an all-star by Adam Silver. What do you guys think he's deserving of this? Do you think he should be an all-star? And he's replacing Devin Booker because he's injured.
left knee sprain, I think, is the reason.
Yeah, Phil, do you wanna start off? Your
Oh,
thoughts
sure.
and opinions?
I'm just gonna get straight to it. No, I think it's just a pity all star that the league just gave to him. Yes, Utah has the best record in the league, but I don't think that like Mike Conley's a great player, obviously, and like he's obviously deserving of an all star. But so many other people had way better numbers than him and deserve that spot over him. For example, who I think should have replaced Devin Booker is DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, I don't know exactly what he's averaging, but his team, the Spurs are literally in the playoffs with a roster that's either hurt or very, very young and inexperienced. And he's carrying that team, which I think he deserves that spot over Mike Conley.
All right, Bass, what do you got? What's your opinion
All
about
right.
this Mike
So-
Conley first-time all-star?
It's a shame that Devin Booker got injured on literally the last game before he could be in an all-star game.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
But I am gonna say Mike Conley is deserving of this all-star spot.
Okay.
Now that might be crazy, and I know John's giving me some weird looks, but and Phil said it best. It's a pity all-star spot. That's what they did. And it'd be a shame if Mike Conley was never an all-star once in his career. So they said, hey, we'll look at the number one team in the league and we'll say, we'll give you your third best player. And they threw him in there. Is he deserving of it? Not as much as DeMar DeRozan or even, say, De'Aaron Fox. But it's a pity all-star and the last second replacement. So, yeah, he does deserve it.
All right, John, you're shaking your head. I don't think
Crazy.
you like
You're
Bass's
crazy
answer.
to say that he deserves that all-star. Right? It's absolutely nothing but pity. They said, oh, best player, let's give him another all-star. Let's screw De'Aaron Fox. Let's screw Brandon Ingram and DeMar DeRozan. Just screw them all, right? They've all been balling out, easily deserve that all-star spot. And I don't care about his whole career. I think that's an absurd argument. So because throughout his whole entire career, he never got into the all-star game, let's just say, oh, wow, your numbers aren't that good, but you're on a good team. Well, they're good. Don't get me wrong. But not as good as these other guys, but you're on a good team. Here's an all-star spot. I hate it. Hate the pick. Don't think he deserved it.
All right, who is one person you would replace Mike Conley with?
Me? If I had to choose one right now, I think I'd go De'Aaron Fox. I think De'Aaron Fox has absolutely balled out this year. And I think he 100% deserves the spot.
I respect that. I don't think Mike Conley's deserving. It would be one thing if the Jazz only had one all-star, but they have two. So I feel like having three is kind of a stretch. There's players like DeMar DeRozan, who's literally on like a 5 seed team with 0 all-stars. I honestly think if I picked one person, it would be DeMar DeRozan. Yes, Mike Conley has had a great career. He's deserved all-stars in the past, but it's based on this season, not a career. So I feel like Mike Conley's not deserving an all-star this year. Sucks that Devin Booker that got injured like a few days ago, but I don't think Mike Conley should be an all-star.
It's crazy because Jordan Clarkson's numbers are better than Mike Conley's.
And they're on the same team.
And they're on the same team, and they give them like I don't know.
That's crazy.
Like obviously, fans really wanted him, especially Utah fans really wanted him in the All-Star game, and I think he deserved it in his career. But it's just a bad look for the NBA making him an all-star.
I just like it's based on this season. Like, yeah, like don't get me wrong, he's had a great career and everything, but like I just feel like it's based on this season and not like a career based.
No, I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
But
I
hey,
think it
good for
should be
him.
a season thing. They should have picked it on who's having the better season. But they looked at his career and they said they saw he didn't have one and saw that he's on the best team in the league. So they just gave it to him and didn't think much of it. That's why I think they did it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay
I'd
with
be
that.
so
It
mad,
makes
bro.
sense.
I'm
I just-
okay
I
with
don't
that.
agree with the reasoning. I really don't at all. Like,
I
granted,
don't get it.
All-Star games is kind of like an accomplishment or an accolade that's not like the most looked at thing, like, but it's a good honor. It's just like, why does that matter? Like, why are you gonna look at someone's whole entire career and just give him one just cause if he hasn't earned it? Because now for the rest of his life, it's gonna be like written down in records that Mike Conley was an all-star. But like he just wasn't. He was not. I'm frustrated. I really am. Silver
Yeah.
soul so hard.
I can understand as a Pelicans fanboy that you're upset that maybe Brandon Ingram is not an all-star this
Hell
year.
yeah, Brandon Ingram should have had it. No question. And I ain't even a bandwagon. This is back to the Davis days. Back to the Davis days.
John, never change, my friend. Never change. All right,
Zion,
moving on. So the dunk contest it's been pretty mediocre ever since we had Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon in 2016, I think it was. Having jumping over mascots, the free throw line, literally having your mascot spin around in a hoverboard and timing it perfectly. That was probably one of the greatest dunk contests of all time. And ever since, it's been pretty disappointing to the point where they couldn't even get 4 players to even do the dunk contest this year. You know, why do you guys think that the dunk contest is declining and no one wants to play in it anymore? Jacob, you want to start?
So this season in particular, it's been really hard to find people who want to do the dunk contest. And I think that has to do with how weird this season's been. And to do the dunk contest, you actually have to train for it and like actually practice doing dunks. And a lot of guys don't want to do that and like put in extra effort for something that really doesn't matter. So they'd rather just rest for this season as opposed to seasons past. But why the dunk contest isn't getting better is because the human body is only capable of doing so many things like in the air or using so many props that I think we've almost like hit the maximum potential as to what the dunk contest can be. And you'd like to see it change, like a new rule introduced or something like that, but I just don't know if anything would really spice it up because you can only do so many dunks before your body won't let you do it anymore.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think the biggest thing, like you mentioned, is the practice and what goes behind the dunk contest. I mean, this even goes to baseball as well. When people will only do the home run derby once because after doing it, they're like, wow, that really killed my body. I mean, and when we look at the NBA, you got to think most of the players that are like the high flyers of the league, the ones that would take over this contest, for the most part, play on pretty good teams. And they don't want to risk injury. They want the rest because they know the second half of the season is when it gets tough. They think that holding a dunk contest trophy isn't worth letting your body heal and resting you ready for the second half of the season. And I think you nailed it when you said, like, there's only so many dunks that can be done. I mean, for the most part, a lot of dunks we see nowadays are already repeats of previous dunk contests. It's just someone does it. No, he jumped a little higher, he slammed it a little harder. And it's just, I think it's just declining because it's almost like people are running out of ideas for what to do. And people don't want to train because they would rather rest. And I think you're thinking about this season being weird. I mean, with all the COVID stuff, not many people want to get involved.
Special guest star. Phil, what do you got?
Yeah, so where should I start? So yeah, I agree. Like ever since like LaVine and Gordon's like legendary like battle, like it hasn't been the same. And I think a big part of like reason is because of the judges. The judges for the past like 2 or 3 dunk contests have been actors or just like celebrities who don't really know a whole lot about
So
basketball.
random. Just the
It's
most
like
random people.
I love Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Don't get me wrong, but he shouldn't be a dunk contest judge. It just makes no sense. And the fact that I think for NBA players, seeing Aaron Gordon get basically snubbed twice also is like basically like holding them back from wanting to do a dunk contest. Cause like if that's how it's gonna be judged, like if his dunks won't win, then like what's the point?
Like
So
he almost cleared Taco and didn't get a 50.
and him and Levine obviously like I think Aaron Gordon should have won that still to this day. Think he should have won that. But yeah, the dunk contest, like Bass said, I agree with like how like the creativity level, like it's getting harder and harder to like get more creative and like come up with like amazing dunks and stuff. But yeah, like seeing the dunk contest participants this year, like that, like seeing the dunk contest participants this year, like that basically solidifies, like, yeah, the dunk contest is just going in the wrong place. Like, like obviously these 3 guys are high flyers. Like, if you know them, they can jump out of the gym. But for a dunk contest, you want big names that actually like are popular in the league, not rookies who Cash Stanley, for example.
Does not.
He's like a 2-way player. Like he's in the G League sometimes. And it's like you don't want like players like that in your dunk contest. Like you want like people like LeBron. Obviously, LeBron's not going to do it, but like you want people like known in the league. So yeah, the dunk contest is just going downhill, and I hope next year they can actually like get people to do it.
Well, I
Yeah,
think go on, Cost, my bad.
you know, you see like the 3-point contest, how they added like a 4-point shot, like the Mountain Dew 4-pointer. It adds entertainment to it, and they like added things to make like it a little better. But like in like the 80s, you see Michael Jordan and like these top guys in the dunk contest. Even like about like a decade ago, you have like Nate Robinson, Dwight Howard. You have these still like big name guys. And it's one thing to not have those big name guys, but you can't even have 4 players to do it.
Bad luck.
And in my opinion, maybe it's time to get rid of the dunk contests because players are more about, having a longer career and like not doing these things. Maybe something like a 1v1 tournament. I feel like that would be something like very interesting because I feel like all these dunks have already been done. It's mostly just like a lot of repeats now, and I feel like there's only so much creativity that can go. I just feel like maybe it might be time for the dunk contest to be done.
Well, to respond to kind of Philip and you, one thing that Philip mentioned was the judges, and I 100% agree. I mean, almost every dunk nowadays is 50, even though, like, let's be real, we can easily decipher which dunk was better than the other. I think a lot of it is, the grading's not really harsh. So it's like, I feel like the judges have way too much control over it because you can be like, oh, that's a 50, that's a 50, that's a 50. Okay, now at the end of the day, let's just pick who we want to win. You know what I mean? And like you said, the judges are kind of not really like basketball people who know what's going on. Now, on the flip side of it is All-Star break, we've seen it in the All-Star game especially, is it's not really supposed to be a competitive weekend of events. It's kind of more laid back and chilled. So if you're putting strict stuff on the dunk contest, yeah, it'd make the contest better. But is that really going to draw more entertain, or is that really going to draw more people? I mean, as we saw with the All-Star game itself, I mean, this last All-Star game we had, that fourth quarter was one of the
So
greatest
good.
quarters of basketball we've seen in our life. I mean, you literally have the best players in the world playing like legit basketball. But years before that, what are they doing? They're not really trying or anything, which is kind of goes into Costas' point of the 1v1 tournament. I agree a 1v1 tournament would be so sick, and I think we all want to see it. But if we go back to the point of people don't want to do events because they want to rest, are we really going to get everyone's all in a 1v1 tournament?
Yeah, that's a good
I think
point.
if you want to create the max entertainment, you need the players to give their all. But at the same time, I think we all agree that players aren't stupid for giving 110 during All-Star weekend when it really doesn't matter that much to them.
I think the judges themselves are the very reason we're not getting big names in the dunk contest, because these guys have some pretty big egos. I'm not gonna lie. They're not gonna do it to lose. Like if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it to win. And like if they get like screwed from a judge that gave them a 9 instead of a 10, like they're just gonna get extra hate online that they don't need. But for Cost to say the dunk contest should be eliminated,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
that's terrible. That's flat out horrible. The worst take I've heard so far, actually.
John,
Here's
get
why
the
that's a bad
lollipop ready.
idea. Here's why that's a bad idea, though. A lot of these big name guys, they make a name for themselves in the dunk contest. Guys like Giannis, Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, and a couple other guys, they were no names really, and then they showed the world how good of dunkers they were, or not always the best, but they were good enough to be in the dunk contest.
Bro, Giannis
So
was not that
maybe
good in the dunk contest.
so maybe it's better that we're getting these smaller name guys who can go out and make a name for themselves later, because that's where a lot of guys got their start, was the dunk contest.
I honestly can't disagree with that. Like, that it's a good point. People do make their names, possibly uh, career decisions that will benefit them in the long run. Any final thoughts about the dunk contest?
Yeah, I got one more. Have you guys seen like the judges this year?
No, I haven't actually.
The NBA is going in the right direction with this. I'll read them off. Dominique Wilkins, Spud Webb, Josh Smith, D Brown, and Jason Richardson. All former
that's a
dunk
good
contest
crew.
champions, by the way.
Oh, that's literally perfect. That's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
All
Exactly.
former
But
dunk contest participants.
Exactly. They just
I
can't
agree
get
that's a great
right
step,
people.
but it's going to be determined how do they judge it still? Are they still going to be giving every single dunk a 50, or is it going to be like actually true competition? You know what I
find
mean?
out.
Because it's like I feel like this might be going a little too far with it, but I feel like no one even has like what a real definition of a 50 is. You know what I mean? Like they kind of throw out like if you could just run up and go dunk the ball, and in round one it's a 50. It's not until later rounds usually when they start giving out the 8s and 9s because they really want to cycle people in and out.
Yeah.
That's why it's so tough to judge, though, because you don't
Yeah, I
know
agree.
the difference,
Wicked
a
hard
clear
to-
difference between a 50 and a 49.
Yep. No, 100%.
All right, moving on.
49. If it is a 49, you got to think who's going to be the one judge who doesn't
Exactly.
give it a 10.
Exactly. They got to talk about it.
Because then if they all give it a 9 because they're like, oh no, that's a 49. Well, now you're looking at a 45. So I didn't interrupt your cost again. It's just I do it all the time on the show, I guess.
That's my fault. I thought you were done talking, but it's okay. But does anyone have any final thoughts?
Oh my God. Oh no.
No, we're good.
All right. So we still got the skills competition, dunk contest, and 3-point contest, but all in one night on same day as the All-Star game. You got the skills competition and 3-point contest before, and you have the dunk contest at halftime. But starting with the skills competition, you got Domantas Sabonis against Julius Randle and Nikola Vucevic against Robert Covington in the first round. And then Luka Doncic and Chris Paul have buys and play the winners of those games. Who is your winner for the skills competition and why? John, you want to start?
Yeah, a big part of me wants to take Domantas Sabonis, but I'm not going to do it. I'm taking Chris Paul. I mean, skills contest is a lot about, it's skills. You're dribbling, you're passing. And I think the biggest struggle of it outside of, hitting that last shot, because, if you take 2 or 3 attempts, you're going to lose beyond the point. The biggest challenge is being able to make the accurate pass. I mean, they have to throw it through the little, whatever you call that thing. And you see that's the one most people struggle on. I think Chris Paul is a great passer. And I think his ability to accurately throw the ball is going to accelerate him through that obstacle quickly. That's my guy. Chris Paul's going to win it.
All right, Phil, who you got?
So the past couple of years, guards have basically never won this contest. It's been like a rare to see a guard win it. So I was honestly thinking of Sabonis, like same thing as you, but I'm actually like this is a contradiction to myself, but I'm taking Luca. I know I just said guards don't win it, but Luca is just so talented, and this is something that he's never been in one, and Luca's one of the best playmakers in the league, obviously, and I personally think with his accuracy on his passes and his ability to hit like the 3-point shot, I think that this is his game to win. So I'm taking Luka Doncic as my winner. I don't like him, but I'll take him.
All right, Bass, who is your winner?
All right. So I agree with Phil that this is really not, ever since they've introduced big men to this competition, they've really flourished in it. And guards have kind of taken a step back. And I'm going to keep that same energy for this contest.
All right.
So a lot of these guys, like Chris Paul and Luca, have been there, kind of done that at All-Star Weekend, and are going to be not trying as hard in the skills competition because they're going to just be like, it's the skills competition. Who cares about it? And they're completely right. But I think Sabonis and Vucevic will take the same approach. So for that reasoning, I'm taking Julius Randle as my 2021 All-Star Skills winner.
Okay.
It'll come down
I
to
like
the
that.
passing. Julius Randle's my winner.
All right. All right, now for mine. Chris Paul and Luca are the clear-cut favorites. No one's really got these big men winning, well, except for Bass. You got Randall. I'm gonna go with the dark horse. My winner is gonna be Robert Covington.
I knew he was going to say that.
He is gonna shock the world with his accurate passing
Bro,
and
just
3-point
stop
shot.
talking now. Stop talking. Move on to the next topic.
He is gonna be
You're
your. No,
done.
no, I'm not
Stop.
done. I'm not done.
Let him
He's
talk.
gonna
Let him
be
talk.
the winner. You're all laughing now, but watch what happens tomorrow. Watch what happens.
I swear on
Watch.
my life, I will pay you $10 if he wins it. I really will.
You want to virtually shake
I
on
will
it?
virtually shake on it.
All right. Easy $10.
And when Chris Paul wins, you're paying me 10 now.
We didn't agree to those terms, but okay, we're gonna move on. Right after the skills competition, we got the 3-point competition. The participants are Jaylen Brown, Mike Conley, who is replacing the injured Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, and Jason Tatum. Phil, you want to start it off? Who's your winner?
So I think what's this tomorrow at 6:30? I think history is going to be made. No
Okay.
person has ever won the dunk contest and the 3-point contest in NBA history. So I'm taking Zach LaVine as my winner. Zach LaVine,
All right. Okay.
Zach LaVine early in his career, like he was just known as a flashy dunker. He didn't have a shot. He developed his shot, carrying the Bulls, averaging like 28 points per game. First time All-Star. Congrats to him. I think this is his game to win. He did it last year or 2 years ago, I believe, and he didn't do amazing. But I feel like he has extra motivation because he's like the All-Star. So I'm taking Zach LaVine, and yeah.
That's a good pick. Bass, who you got?
Phil, that is an amazing pick, and I completely agree. That's the same guy I picked, Zach LaVine. For the same reason I picked Julius Randle. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder for being an all-star this season, and he's going to look to be more than an all-star, more than a dunker. So he's going to come out and absolutely light it up in the 3-point competition, and he's going to have a great event.
All right, that good pick. You can't go wrong with this. John, who do you have?
All right. Well, as inspirational as the man Steph Curry is, I really want to take him. But you guys took the answer right from me. I got Zach LaVine, and Bass, you kind of relayed it perfectly. He's chasing history, and like I said, All-Star Weekend is always kind of a relaxed event. People don't really care. It's kind of just a for fun event. But I feel like Zach LaVine's actually have the mindset of he wants to win. And I think that's going to push him over the top. And I feel like it's always like the favorites in the 3-point contest that don't end up winning it. You know what I mean? Like everyone has this guy's the best shooter. He's going to win it. And they usually don't tend to perform. So yeah, I have Zach LaVine as well.
Steph Curry's only won it once.
Exactly.
He's been in multiple. So he's not a guarantee to win
probably
it.
arguably the best shooter we've ever seen in history.
Oh, no doubt.
He is the best.
Definitely. All right. My 3-point contest winner. And I'm not going with Zach LaVine. I'm going original. Maybe a little biased, but I'm going with Jaylen Brown. I feel like, yeah, don't put your head down, bro. It is a little biased, but I
A little,
feel
That is very biased.
a little
just a little,
biased.
just-
He ain't
just
even
a
the
little.
best shooter
I
himself.
could have went Tatum.
Go
I could have
on,
went with
go on.
Tatum. I feel like, no one's really talking about him. I'm not picking a favorite. I feel like Zach LaVine is top of the pack in projected winners, and I'm going with Jaylen Brown. I'm going with someone who underrated 3-point shooter. As LeBron said, Jaylen underappreciated Brown. He's my winner for the 3-point contest.
Dude, you're such a clown.
But
Your picks have been
so Cost is
wild
0 for
today,
2 so
Cost.
far.
Goss is
Your
over
picks have been-
puke.
Yeah, I was honest. I thought
Those
I thought you were gonna
pukes
say
are
Mike Conley. I'm like, if
Oh,
the dude says
no.
Mike Conley, bro, I would leave. But I think a sleeper in this competition is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's not
definitely.
known as a 3-point shooter, but I think you should watch out for him. He might go off.
Bro,
He
I
could
really
have a
wish
chip as
Devin
well.
Booker.
Yeah.
Sadly, he's injured, but he's so nice in the 3-point contest. Devin Booker is.
Or where's
Sucks
Buddy
that he
Hield
won't.
at?
Bro, I know. He was
Champ.
nice too.
Cost, would you have picked Devin Booker if he didn't get hurt?
I think so, yes.
Hmm.
I just think he
That would have been a good pick.
usually shows up for the 3-point contest, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't this year if he didn't get hurt. But it is what it is. But I'm going with Jaylen Brown. All you guys are going with Zach LaVine. Anyone have any final thoughts?
I like being bold. That's all I have to say about your pick.
I think Damian Lillard should have been in it. But
He
Yeah.
dropped out.
oh, right.
He was going to, but then he got scared about Steph being in it. I mean, yeah, Steph being in
And
it.
I
So
also think I don't know if I think Joe Harris should have been in it. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in 3-point percentage.
he's up there. He's definitely up there.
I don't know why Jaylen Brown is in it.
I
Like-
think they favored guys that
Do
are
I.
already going to be there for All-Star break, as opposed to bringing in another guy just because of COVID. I
Oh,
think that
yeah.
has a little bit to do with it. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
definitely.
Joe Harris should have been a pick.
Anything else?
All set.
All right. So lastly, at halftime of the All-Star game, we have the dunk contest. As we stated before, not really big name guys. There's only 3 people in this competition this year. And John, who do you have winning the dunk contest?
Well, for starters, I'm glad we're doing dunk contest because I think all 3 contestants are so bad that I can't even judge you for a bad pick on this one, Cost. But I don't even know exactly who to pick. But I'm taking Obi Toppin. I think he's an exciting player to watch. He's fun to watch. And I think we've already kind of talked about the dunk contest and what we really even expect from it. But I think he'll end up pulling it out in the end.
I feel like there's no really bad pick because they're all
Exactly.
kind of no names. So
Yeah.
Bess, who are you going with?
I got Obi Toppin as well. I guess I'm representing New York in this All-Star weekend. But yeah, he's thrown down some incredible dunks in college, and I think he's gonna bring that type of energy to the All-Star game. He's a forward, so he might bring out some more power dunks, while the other guys might do some finesse dunks. And power dunks seem to kind of do well. So yeah, Obi Toppin, that's my pick.
All right, Phil, who do you got?
I am taking not Obi Toppin. I'm taking Cassius Stanley.
Yes, sir.
Cassius Stanley, I remember watching highlights of him in high school. Dude's going on a fast
Yup.
break, basically jumping from the foul line, doing 360s. Like, he's a freak athlete. And for that reason, I am picking him. I don't really have an explanation. I just know him from past experience, and I know he's a high flyer, so I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yep, I'm going with Cassius Stanley as well. I have watched his high school highlights, and in college, he is a high flyer. He can do all these crazy dunks, which what he was known for going into college. He doesn't play much in the NBA, and he's mostly a G leaguer, but he's my winner, and I think he'll do very well in this competition.
He was at Duke, right?
Yes, he did go to Duke. I think only for a year,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
All right. So the draft for the All-Star game was a few nights ago. KD and LeBron drafted their teams on TNT. And unfortunately, Kevin Durant's not playing for resting purposes. But LeBron has never lost in an All-Star game. Team LeBron always has won. But who do you guys have? Should I list off the full rosters, or are you guys good?
Oh, I'm good. You can
I'm
if you
good.
want.
I'm good.
All right. I'll start off. So, when the draft first happened, I was leaning towards Team Durant because he has the exciting players. He has Zion, Zach LaVine, these newer All-Stars, Julius Randle. But looking back, and especially after the Devin Booker injury, I am leaning towards Team LeBron. I just feel like their starting lineup is insane, especially having Giannis and Curry all together. I think that's insane. And his bench is pretty good, except for Rudy Gobert, but we're not going to talk about that. He was last, so he's kind of put on the team. So I'm gonna have to go with Team LeBron. He has players that can win. Chris Paul, Ben Simmons are gonna get the open looks, and I think they're gonna work very well as a team. And it's gonna be a great game. Bass, who do you have as your All-Star game winner?
So, Cost, you hit the nail right on the head. LeBron hasn't lost an All-Star game, but he's the captain, and that's because he drafts so well. He said it best that he picks players that complement him, and then he picks players that complement those players, and it kind of showed in the starters that he drafted himself, Giannis, Curry, Luka, and Jokic. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that from an all-star team standpoint. So yeah, it seems pretty obvious. Team LeBron, but if Kevin Durant was playing, this would be a much harder decision.
Oh, definitely, 100% agree. John, who do you have as your winner?
I also have Team LeBron. I mean, there's a reason why he hasn't lost in the All-Star game yet. I mean, he's phenomenal. He really is. The team he drafted is insane. And I agree with what Bass said about how it'd be a tougher decision if KD was there. But I think even with KD there, I think Team LeBron has a pretty big advantage. I mean, Giannis, really, Curry, Luka, Jokic, I don't know what else to say. I mean, and they got Sabonis off the bench. I mean, can't get much better than that.
Hey,
I
not wrong.
I have Team LeBron in a blowout.
A blowout.
Ooh.
Really? That's bold. That is bold.
I'm talking by 30 plus.
Whoa, 30 plus.
That's a little.
There's
Maybe a little
no
too
What
chance.
you said this episode, I don't want to hear nothing out of you.
There's no chance it's 30 plus.
You watch.
I will, and it won't be 30 plus.
No, it won't. All right, Phil, who do you have?
All right. So, first I have a question. Is it the same rules as last year's, with the 3 periods and then a target score or something like that?
Yes,
those
I
rules?
kind of want to talk about that after we go over predictions because just
So
who's your
yeah.
pick?
So I'll keep mine brief. I'm also going to take Team LeBron, but I think that it's going to be a very close game for 2 reasons. One, they have the last year's All-Star Game MVP in Kawhi, who absolutely caught fire and could have kept going if, he wanted to. 2, this is made for Kyrie Irving, James Harden's play styles. Those 2 together will probably end up dropping 30 each. And I think obviously there's no defense and stuff, but I think that if somehow Team Durant does win, it's going to be because of Kyrie Irving. But I'm still taking Team LeBron. I hate picking the same team as Rudy Gobert, but yeah, I'll take Team LeBron.
All right, so we all pick LeBron. We all agree with that. I just kind of wanted to talk about the new format for the All-Star game. I think what they did for the All-Star game just made it so much better. First, they did something in honor of Kobe and his daughter, who's tragically passed away about a year ago. But it's great what they're doing, donating money for the low income schools, which is awesome that they're donating money for the winner. It's just like so much more competitive, and the past few years they're scoring almost 200 points. No one's really trying, like, unless like Paul George almost broke the record for most points, so they decided to double team him so he wouldn't break the record. But overall, it's been like really nice. Kyle Lowry even drew charges, which I didn't really like, but it was still very competitive. What do you guys think about the new format for the All-Star game?
I agree, and I think they nailed it perfectly because I think obviously it's a lot better when it's competitive. Yes, I get it. Like we talked about before, All-Star weekend's supposed to relax because it's kind of resting time. But I think the fact that there's a little motivation behind it for the first 3/4 of it, makes it a little bit. It doesn't make too much of a difference though. But the fact that at the end of the day, we still get that 1/4 of just like, wow, this is crazy. Like you're never gonna see like teams like that in a real game. And we actually get to like witness a quarter of them playing together.
Like
It's
a pickup game. It's awesome.
It's literally just a pickup game, but it's literally the 10 best players in the NBA right now. Like you're never gonna see something like that in a real game. And the fact that you get it like at a competitive level, I think it's great, and it's a great thing for fans. And I think it's gotten a lot of good reviews from fans as well. I think everyone kind of agrees that it was so much fun to watch and it was a great format.
All right, Phil, you got any thoughts about the All-Star game?
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be as competitive as last year because last year was the motivation doing it for Kobe, and they wanted to win any sort of way for Kobe. And also, I think because of the pandemic, no one wanted to do this All-Star game like in general anyway. Like I remember like seeing a bunch of things like LeBron doesn't like he wants to sit out and like doesn't think it should happen. And basically, if LeBron doesn't want to do it, then probably no one else really wants to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the format is like it is a lot better. I agree. It gives people like basically like a reason to want to win, like for this like some sort of charity and stuff. And yeah, so yeah, basically just All-Star game. I hope it's competitive. I don't think it'll be. And yeah, this Adam Silver took a dub with this format.
I completely agree. Bass, what do you have?
So they completely revived the All-Star game, and from a fan's perspective, it's the best thing they could have ever done. They bring it's a competitive game between the 10 best players in the NBA right now, like John just said. Last year it was for a good cause to honor Kobe, and it was for charity, like it is this year. And yeah, I also see what Phil's saying, how it's not going to be as competitive this year, which is a little disappointing to realize that. But it's really good from a fan's perspective. But from a coach perspective, it's probably the worst thing that could have happened because it's an exhibition game that means absolutely nothing, and their guys we're going 100%, and you just don't want to risk any type of injury, especially if guys are drawing charges like that, and any freak accidents can happen that way. So there's good and bad to it, but as me myself a fan, I think it's the best thing that could have happened.
Hey, does anyone have any final thoughts about the All-Star game and what they did to improve it? All right, well, I think we're gonna wrap things up. This was about the All-Star break and our predictions. Make sure to follow our socials. We got Instagram, Twitter. We're gonna be putting this on Spotify and Anchor. And that's it. We'll see you next time.
Smash the fuck out of the like button.
Yes, sir.